Good evening, everyone. Previously, I mentioned the downhill of Spongebob. Well, after a while, it's time to count down the worst SpongeBob episodes. I was going to make a top 10, but there are too many bad episodes to choose from, so I made the top 25 worst SpongeBob episodes. Before I begin, I would like to say that you're entitled to your own opinion. Sit back, relax, and watch and enjoy this long countdown. By the way, no hate comments or profane language is acceptable. Let's begin. These were hard decisions. Number 25 is A Friendly Game from Season 8. To be honest, episodes such as Professor Squidward, Mr. Krabs Takes a Vacation, and Squid Defense were close to the spot, and Krusty Towers. Patrick and SpongeBob play golf on a rainy day, but Patrick is a cocky jerk and only cares about winning. When the ball ends up at Squidward's house, they wreck it blindfolded and make Squidward lose his teeth. Squidward wakes up from his neck when the golf balls are hit and the house falls apart. Boy, you guys are reckless idiots who cause massive destruction, which is devastating. Number 24 is Sentimental Sponge from Season 8. To prepare for the spring, SpongeBob cleans his house and disposes his garbage. But idiotic Patrick tells him that they're memories. SpongeBob grabs the trash can from the garbage truck and hoards everything, including wrappers and cereal boxes. He also accumulates more. It gets worse from there. He even keeps his sweat, grease, and ketchup in jars. Eventually, the house was so full that he kept all his garbage in the front yard and in Squidward's front yard. Squidward calls the police and they think he's a woman because he wears a nightgown that everyone thought was a dress. Oh, that was not funny. SpongeBob has to get rid of his garbage or give up his house. He takes photos of everything, and guess what? When Squidward opens his door, all the photos come out by surprise because SpongeBob had no room for all of them. Those do not hold precious memories, you idiot. No, sweat is not a memory. Number 23 is Keep Bikini Bottom Beautiful from Season 7. The only thing that happens is that annoying cop who didn't mind his own business follows Squidward the whole episode. He's sentences Squidward to community service for lame reasons, such as his statue fell apart. That cop was an idiot and had no business following Squidward. Number 22 is Chum Fricassee from Season 9. This episode starts off with Mr. Krabs insulting Squidward about gourmet cooking. Squidward quits his job and goes to their chum bucket and makes chum into Chum Fricassee, using his grandma's secret recipe. It tastes so good that it becomes popular and Squidward earns himself a fan base. Mr. Krabs becomes outraged and attempts to sneak in with SpongeBob, but must wait for 2 years for a table to eat at. Basically, Mr. Krabs lost his business. Due to the extensive number of customers, Squidward tells Plankton to not let it cook for 24 hours. Then Mr. Krabs' grandma comes to the restaurant and ruins everything. She harms Squidward and yells, "Undercooked chum causes severe tummy trouble." The fanbase turns into an outraged mob and they destroy everything, including the napkins. Plankton loses his restaurant and Squidward loses his fanbase. Without an option, Squidward returns to the Krusty Krab. Mr. Krabs makes him a doormat. Talk about treating someone like dirt, which is maltreatment. Mr. Krabs, how could you do this to your own employee? This episode had the potential to be a good episode, but no, it was ruined. At least Plankton is better than Mr. Krabs. Number 21 is the card from Season 6. SpongeBob wants the only valuable talking card, number 54, which is the only valuable card. He has to buy as many packs of cards as possible to obtain the card. He buys all but one pack. When Patrick hates counting, he buys the last pack of cards. The special card is in that pack. SpongeBob straps the card to Patrick's hand to make damage preventable. SpongeBob protects the card at all costs, including mud. When Patrick and SpongeBob arrive at Patrick's home, Patrick needs to open his home. He takes out his key and Squidward asks him where the card is. Patrick kept it on his back. Refusing to listen to SpongeBob, he uses the card to open his home. What happened to the key? He had a key a minute ago. He damages the card by bending it. Then he's hungry and pulls out a grill. Wait, when ever the heck did he have a grill? He uses the card to scrape the surface clean, which ruins the top of the card. He uses the card to make a fire to cook and spits on it. Not only does he flip burgers and gets it completely covered with cheese, Patrick eats the burger and rudely burps. He wipes his mouth with the card. He gives it to SpongeBob and it is destroyed. Patrick gives SpongeBob the other cards and asks to borrow one of the cards to open his home. This episode stunk because all the special cards were only in one pack. Number 20 is a tie. Pineapple Fever and Stuck in a Winger. In Pineapple Fever, Patrick and SpongeBob learn that there's a storm coming. They build a bar on the dorm for protection. But the noise harms Squidward when he tries to pull a hair from his eyebrow. Unexpectedly, he arrives at SpongeBob's house. SpongeBob distracts him. He offers pink slippers and says, "We'll have tea, we'll play board games and tic-tac-toe and jigsaw puzzles and hot cocoa." Squidward waits, but the storm prevents him from going home, so he gets struck. He plays tic-tac-toe and tries to sleep. Patrick can't find the spot where the last puzzle piece fits. SpongeBob becomes annoying. Squidward says where the puzzle piece can fit, but SpongeBob claims that is cheating, which makes no sense. Squidward draws a white line so he can get peace. Suddenly he is hungry and eats a snail food without realizing it. Then he realizes it and he is approached at the white line by SpongeBob dressed as an officer with a fence. He won't let Squidward cross the line and demands identity that he drew the line. Squidward runs and SpongeBob chases him and Squidward steals food and everyone behaves like animals, including Patrick. When the storm ends, Squidward leaves and falls because the house is floating on a tornado. Another episode that made no sense. Well, part 2 will be next week. Thanks for watching this. I'm out of time. Good night.